Hello everybody and welcome. So here in front of you, you can see one of what I consider the most beautiful and best built Android smartphones on the market. This is the HTC One M8 and it's a fantastic and a beautiful device, as you can tell, with this beautiful aluminum on it, or aluminium if you're in the UK, as I am, but I don't say aluminium. I don't know why, I just don't like the way it sounds. So anyways, here it is. It's a beautiful, stunning, there's two front speakers there, beautiful, stunning device. You know, it's a fantastic device. So let's go ahead and review this. I'll talk about my thoughts on this device, and I'm also going to go over the main things about the phone, then I'll just go over the certain things I like and stuff at the end, really. So let's start with the specifications. This has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 at 2.3 GHz, not the 2.5 GHz variant, Adreno 330 graphics, 2 GB of RAM, 16 or 32 gigs of storage, accelerometer, gyro, proximity, compass, barometer, you know, all your standard array of sensors. You have a micro SD card slot, which is something HTC actually listened to the average consumer. So there, let me just see if I can get this to focus. Probably because it's such a small object. There you go. So that right there is the micro SD card slot, and if you remember with the original HTC One M8, it didn't have one, and because we're in such a norm where micro SD cards are quite useful, HTC listened to most of the reviewers, I guess, and most of the consumers, and put the SD card slot on the phone, which is a really awesome. Problem was Android 4.4 pretty much messed around with that and caused a lot of issues with micro SD storage. So it's useful, but you couldn't write to it. So I mean, the camera could, but there were certain things that you couldn't actually move. You couldn't move a lot of apps to the SD card, which was a sort of a problem. It also, for the SIM, which is on the other side, which is on the left side, is nano SIM, which I don't know if I really like nano SIM. I'm trying to get it to focus. It's not really all that interesting. I don't know if I like nano SIM. Yeah, I mean, going smaller SIM cards is better, I suppose, and you can sort of make your phone a bit smaller and fit certain things in. But not many phones use nano SIM, as far as I know. Maybe more are coming out with it now, but as far as I know, not a lot use them. Especially my Nexus 5 right here uses the micro SIM, so not sure about that, but hey ho, it's your call. And we have a 2600 mAh battery, which is fantastic. Battery life on this thing is phenomenally good. So let's go over the screen, which is a 1080p, which is 1080 by 1920, which gets you 441 pixels per inch, which is fantastically crisp. Pretty much once you start getting past 300, 326 or so, you start not being able to notice it. I mean, you can notice it if you're really good, but for the average consumer, you're really not going to see much of a difference between this and, say, for instance, an iPhone screen at 326 ppi. We're supporting the Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on this. Now, I have a screen protector because although Corning Gorilla Glass 3 is getting better, it's still not smash resistant, and I don't think really you're going to get much further if you don't go something like Sapphire or something glass. You're pretty much going to have a screen that's still going to smash. So, you know, protect your device. It is scratch resistant pretty well now, but still protect your device, put a screen protector on it like I did. So, but yeah, the screen is still really, really nice. Super LCD 3, which is an upgrade from the Super LCD 2 display. I believe this is an IPS display, so, you know, pretty good colors. I don't have any sort of color reader or whatever you call them. I can't remember the correct name for them right now. Sooner I will get one though, hopefully, and I can do some proper results on this display to explain more to you. So yeah, as I was saying, colours, they are pretty decent. I've noticed sometimes the colours can look a bit funny. Not sure if that's just my phone or if that's the phone sometimes. Or it's a production problem, something like that, not really sure. Whites look pretty darn nice. Let's go ahead and just get something up that's white. So we're going to the internet browser because that's pretty much the only thing. Let me just turn the brightness right up here. So as you can see, this probably won't come through very well. Come on, focus please. Helpful. There you go. So it comes through a little bit less. Well, it comes through a little bit blue on this camera, as I can see. Generally though, the whites on this display do look very good. I don't know if I can get it to come through very well, but yeah, it's very bright, very good with its whites as well, and the blacks not too bad actually. If I just bring that up to the bottom there, as you can see, Mum, useful. You're not going to be able to see it. I need to get a better camera. But yeah, black's not too bad either. So, text looks pretty sharp and clear, as I was saying. That's actually... Let me go ahead and bring something up. So here we are. So as you can see, if I scroll down on this page a bit, we'll just use that text for instance. As you can see, even with the camera as far away as it is... What's all this coming up? Go away. So even as far as the camera is away, you can see the text looks really clear. And as if I bring it in a bit, and it turns, of course... Let me see if I can get this thing to focus. There you go. Look, it looks fantastic. Obviously, 441 ppi, you're going to expect a crystal clear, very sharp text on the display. So, very, very nice. Not much more better than that. I mean, you could go up in ppi and it's just going to get sharper. And also, viewing angles on this device are pretty darn good. So if I go ahead, turn off axis, as you can see, I can get to about there. And you can still see that display very well. And colours don't seem to get lost, and too much brightness is not lost either, which is quite nice. So, you know, you can go that way if you wanted, and you can see it still looks pretty darn bright. Sorry, not bright. So, really awesome. Pretty good job there, HTC. The camera. The camera is one of the really bad points to this phone. You can get some pretty decent shots out of it, but there is a massive problem. And I think it's more to do with HTC, but it could be the ultra pixel sensor being the issue here. So what you've got here is a 4 ultra pixel sensor here, and this, as far as I've been able to find, is a 2 megapixel camera. So basically this is your 4 ultra pixel, which is 4 megapixels, which is your main camera, and this is used for just taking the general image. This 2 megapixel camera up here is for depth information. There's some cool features, but gimmicky features to me. We have a dual tone flash here as well, which obviously evens out the light when you take the pictures. The picture size is 2688 by 1520 on this camera, and the front camera, which is actually really awesome to see, this is a 5 megapixel camera, which means you get 2592 by 1944 images. So the front camera, if you're a selfie-centered person, then this front camera on this phone is really, really good. The back camera, however, it's a little less than to be desired. So there will be some images I've taken with this device. Hopefully I'll find them over this, and as you can see, it looks okay in that sort of situation. But as you can see now, it's overexposing with my monitor, and I'm just looking at a curtain. You can see the overexposing on the monitor. You know, it's a bit annoying with that overexposing problem. It could be sorted, but I don't know if they are going to. And also, if I remember rightly, the original HTC One had optical image stabilization, I should say. This lost it. And apparently this is because they had to add this. I'm not so sure, but you should never take features away that are some really, really good features. Optical image stabilization helps in low light, so when you're taking pictures, when it's lowering the ISO and upping the aperture, I think it is, I can't quite remember off the top of my head, optical image stabilization helps you stabilize that image and keep it stable. So if you're just standing there like this and just say, doing that slightly, it will even that out, but it doesn't have it, so your images might come out a bit blurry. Let's go ahead and talk about these front-facing Boomsound speakers. These are, as you could hear in my test for this thing, are fantastic. They are absolutely amazing. They're quite an upgrade from the original Beats speakers that were there, or Beats Boomsound as they were called, or whatever. It's just a fancy name for some really good speakers that are on the front. They do sound amazing, and if you're a person that listens to a lot of music, these HTC Boomsound speakers are definitely a winner in every situation. They will outpace any competition. And until we start seeing some front-facing speakers that are really decent by other manufacturers, at the moment this is the king of all for its speaker quality. And as you could hear, it's very loud, it's very rounded, very clear, it's got some really good clarity going for it, so it's nice to see that HTC do care for the audio lovers. So let's go ahead and talk about this design. As I was saying, so this is an absolutely amazing design, very, very premium as you'd expect. It's metal, so you get that nice cool feeling when you take it off charge in the morning. It feels all nice and cold, you know, it's not that plasticky feeling, it's just like, oh, Okay, this is a premium device as you would expect. The price range, it's a pretty good, I mean, it's up there with every other flagship from, say, Samsung, LG, Sony, all that sorts of things if you wanted to buy them off contract. However, this has the ability that it is actually aluminum, so it's a really nice build quality, and you can expect no bending, no creaking when you do that. So yeah, the aluminum design for this phone is fantastic. The power buttons, things like that, is actually really nice as well. They're very clicky. I don't know if this is going to come through very well on the camera. As you can probably hear... Oh, hello. How do I launch that? Oh yeah, I know. Okay. So yeah, the volume and the power buttons are really clicky, which is quite nice, so you know what you're pressing and know when it's getting clicked. And there's also an IR blaster at the top here, so if you want to use this with, say, your TV or something to change the channel, get rid of some of your remotes, then you can do that with this device, which is awesome. You just need a case that supports it, and as you remember from the Speak and Slim Armor one, that does not. So let's go ahead and sort of go over the software a bit here. So, oops, hello, camera, go away. So it's HTC Sense 6, sorry, on top of Android 4.4.3, I think. Let me go ahead and have a look. Software information. So we're Android 4.4.3. Let's see if I can open that. Okay, this apparently doesn't want to open it. With HTC Sense, so HTC Sense is one of the less intrusive skins to Android. It's a very fast, very slick, very smooth one. It doesn't really add a whole bunch. It adds sort of core features that Android 4.4.3 did not have, such as a power saving mode, extreme power saving mode, and some other things, but it doesn't add a whole bunch that's really that intrusive. So it's really nice to see that HTC Sense or HTC are not going overboard to make their phone absolutely feature hungry, or not feature hungry, but feature full. They're just going slightly there to keep it fast, smooth, a good device, but they're giving some more than stock Android, say, would. So HTC Sense 6 comes with this blink feed thing. Now, I'm not signed into any social applications at the moment, but I assure you that green is not that green on the screen, by the way. That's my camera. I hope it might be my camera screen, I don't know. But HTC blink feed is actually really cool. I've liked using the blink feed when I had it. Basically what it does is it brings every sort of application you have that would show up under here, so you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, probably Plume, things like that, and they would all show under there, and then you'd just be able to go under here and you'd be able to see every single update. You could swipe in, select a specific application if it was in this bar, and it would bring only updates to that application, which is really quite nice. I like that feature from HTC Blinks. It's actually quite a useful thing this time, and you can disable it as far as I remember. Don't know where. I think it's under settings. Where was it? It was somewhere under settings, but you can, I believe, disable HTC blink feed. Now, I will say something. I am one of the people that are not impressed with this phone. It's hard to think anybody wouldn't be, but it's more down to the camera and things like that. But also, for some reason, it probably may have been some of my apps, but I've had some slight lag in HTC Sense, and I'm not sure if it was just me. But I have noticed it sometimes. It's not going to probably do it now, because, you know, we're on camera. But generally, I mean, the experience of HTC Sense is very smooth, very fast. But I have noticed some slight lag when doing things. Again, could be me, could not be me. But yeah, it's sort of annoying. And when I switched to Google Play Edition ROM, it sort of, most of it went, but some of it was still there. And I could still have slight lags every now and then, so... I'm not sure. Is it the phone? Is it something HTC are doing? Or is it just a general problem? I'm not quite sure. So overall, I have enjoyed using the HTC One M8. It's a fantastic device, absolutely premium phone as you can imagine. However, HTC do need to up their game with a few things, and that being that camera at the back. So this camera is not very good. It needs to be better. Now, the ultra pixel thing, it's cool and everything HTC, but honestly, this camera not brilliant. And so if it didn't have such an overexposing exposing problem, maybe it would be a better camera. But from my point of view, that problem is there, and it's very, very annoying. So, you know, if we open the camera app, as you can see, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Actually, you can see it there. See what I mean? Now, if I focus in on that, it sort of goes away, but if I focus in where I want to be, it causes a massive issue, and I hate it. Some people may not mind it, but for me, I don't like that. And yes, I understand a lot of other phones don't do it, but they don't do it nearly as bad as this thing. So it's a problem with this. It's either the ultra pixel sensor is bringing in way too much light, and that's causing it to overexpose, or it's something in HTC, processing department that's causing these issues. Otherwise, the camera is pretty darn good. And actually, while we're here, the interface for this is very nice. As you can see, we just have these buttons along the bottom, which you can control manual things. You can turn the ISO up, you can turn the exposure, I think it is, the white balance. You can add some effects to the picture, and then you can obviously go in here and you can set some other things. The camera also has some other features, such as a video mode, obviously, Zoe camera, which is, if I remember, it probably might tell me. It captures stills and video with one button, which is quite nice. You have selfie, which brings on the front camera, and if I press dual capture, it then brings up, and you can see me, it then brings up the front camera and the back camera, and you have pan 360, which you line it up with that white dot, and it goes up, and then you turn around to where you want to take the picture next. So let's say I want to take the picture here, press stop, it will save the image. Oops. We can open it, and then we can have a look at our pan 360. So as you can see, there you go. So yeah, overall camera experience is pretty decent. I mean, the camera interface is very easy and very nice, but again, it just needs that camera to be a bit better. And also, that camera needs optical image stabilization. HTC don't take features away that are something that is a really helpful feature to many people. It's not a good thing to do. So definitely OIS needs to be brought back in the next HTC iteration. So overall, if you're say a selfie-centric person, that front-facing camera is a fantastic camera. It is really decent for, you know, what you're getting here. So, you know, it's a high megapixel count, which is better in my opinion. Brings in more detail. So it's a pretty decent camera, and with the wide-angle lens, if you're taking a selfie with many people, then you can get more in the image at one time. Battery life is very decent actually. I managed to get through a day without an issue with this phone, and that's with pretty heavy use actually. I mean, on an average day, I watch a couple of YouTube videos. That's over mobile data. I watch a couple of live streams every now and then. I browse the web a lot. I play a lot of intensive games. So, you know, I have put this phone through its paces, and over the couple months I've had it, its battery life has been very decent. And actually, whilst I'm at it with the camera, I forgot to mention, this one has a really weird issue. I can't do it on camera because you need your ear right up to the camera. The problem is when you're recording a video, I could hear a tick, and that tick is quite audible. And the problem is when you put your ear up, it's like the speakers are on and have static going through them, and you can hear that. It's like the focus is, it's like if you listen to like a gear or cog that's can't do anything and it keeps repeatedly trying, it's sort of that noise, and it's pretty audible to me. And when I put my ear up to the phone, I can definitely hear it. It's a pretty annoying issue, and I don't know if it's my phone that's got this issue or if it is every phone. But if you want to try, what you have to do is open the camera and just put it on camera mode, and then what you want to do is put your head up to, oopsie-daisy, you want to put your head up to this section here near the camera and focus it and see if you can hear that sort of noise. And if you can, then it is something that this phone has as a problem. Overall, I rate this device a 7 out of 10. The reason a 7 out of 10 is because, well, that camera issue is a real bummer to me. The camera on the back of this phone is a pile of crap. I will take a more megapixel count camera over this Duo setup. This Duo setup, not very decent. I don't like it that much. So I will take say a 13 megapixel camera over that 4 megapixel 4 megapixel camera any day of the week. However, other things such as the speakers are really good. You know, it's got a lot of pros to this phone. That issue with the camera, as I was saying about the sort of ticking noise, is also the reason why it scores a 7 out of 10, because that is a really annoying issue to me. I tried to record video of this, and all I heard was that, and I was like, oh god damn it. Things in like video audio calls, you know, phone calls, stuff like that, it's fantastic. It really doesn't have any issues. And if you text a lot, then the The keyboard on this is very nice. As you can see, it's quite big, has some pretty good correction going on, so it's really not a bad phone overall. However, for me, it's not a buy, and I am quite annoyed that I purchased this when I did. I thought I wasn't going to care. I didn't realise the camera was as bad as it was, so yeah, I sort of moved back to my M5 because, well, I like my M5 more. This just didn't suffice me well. Maybe if HTC do make a better camera, say they stick a 16 or so megapixel camera on this phone, then maybe I'll go and buy it, but because they have not, and because the M8 is the one I wanted, then for me, this is just not a great phone, but for some, it may be. Anyways, guys, I hope you like this. Sorry, the review's probably sort of long, but I like to go over things. Reviews will get more technical soon. I will get some meters to measure the speakers properly, which won't be able to be done on this device because I'm selling it. I'll be getting a proper color accuracy thing to check the screen out and tell you if it's actually any decent or not and things like that. But for now, I haven't got that, and the channel's not big enough really for that. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. That is the HTC One M8, and I'll catch you again soon.